We're here with Arno Sarafagis, helm on board Alinghi Red Bull Racing. So two boats sailing today with both AC40s in one design. Offshore wind in the morning, shifty and gusty, before dying and turning to the south. You finished off with some racing, you and Max against Dean Barker and Phil Robertson. How are you feeling about today?
Yeah, today was a really good day to start the week. We had the offshore breeze in the beginning that died off really quickly, but we got super lucky to get the southwest breeze coming back in, and it was a perfect way to start the week as we are doing our racing program now, and Phil, Dean and Jason are here to help us to improve and to push us to the limit, and today we almost find a little limit on the boat, and it's a good thing to improve and to work on for tomorrow and the rest of the week.
So what are you looking to improve and work on for the next days?
We can improve all little details, little bit of communication, and as well as the condition were a little bit tricky with the gust and lull. So a little tweak on the setup just to make sure that everything go really smoothly and you don't lose anything, but you just try to make some gain.
It looked like the right side of the course was favourable. Most of the sailing was on the right side, but not only today. When the thermal winds, we often see you going inshore. Do you agree with that? Is that a consistent?
Yeah, I think the right was quite consistent. Only the one time we could go to the left and we didn't, and he actually did pay on the left. So now the conditions were really nice because was one of the first time that was quite shifty, and we could really play around and make the game even more interesting on board.
So if we have thermal winds in Vilanova, is that something you expect, going over towards the shore?
Well, to be honest, it's pretty far away, so we haven't really looked at it. But depend on the race course and how far we are from the shore, and maybe the right will pay like usual.
And if you find yourself, behind in the racing, what's the thought process? You bang the corner inshore or get clean air? What's the?
Well, I think it really depends where you are in which stage of the race are you in. You cannot put everything on the table too early, so you need to be patient, and it's gonna be a fleet race, so you don't need to win every race, so you just need to be up there, and at the end of the week the point will count. Yeah.
And how differently are you approaching the starts in your training now leading up to Vilanova? You're not moving away from match racing starts, more focused on fleet racing starts. What's the process?
It really depends. You try to find a routine that works for each condition, each situation. It's still early on because we're still practicing fleet race start, but two boats, so it can really quickly end up in a match race situation. But we just try to find some routine, but it's not really far away from a match race routine or way of thinking on the start.
How much pressure is there within the team to perform at Vilanova?
There is not much pressure on the team to perform. We just want to do it well and to try to work on every little details, and it's going to be a really good first event, and then we're going to carry that work through Jeddah, and it's where we can fine-tune things until next year.
Ben Cornish helming on the port side of T6 today, but not much of it. It was a pretty short day of sailing, long day out on the water, short day of sailing. Technical issues on board, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, exactly. We spent a while out there today, and like you say, not a huge amount converted into sailing hours. couple of bugs on board, let's say, gremlins, which we tried to resolve. We sent a couple of chase boats in with some replacement parts in the debugging process, and by the time we were closing in on a fix to it, the breeze actually turned off and went back to this offshore land breeze. So a bit of an opportunity missed, I guess, out there today.
So was the boat fixed by the end, or?
We should be in a good place, yeah. Not completely fixed, but I think the guys had a good handle on what was the problem at the end.
All right, let's turn our attention to Vilanova, which is coming up pretty soon now. Have you guys finalised your onboard team for that event?
Yeah, I mean, you can see the crew list each day as to who's being focused in which areas, which is probably answers that question. We've been starting to up the hours with the AC40. Obviously, it's now 2 weeks away, so the priority has to start to turn towards race sharpness and the communications on board that boat.
How important is it for you guys to get a good result there? There is some importance to it in the overall cup, but for you as a team, there must be some kind of personal pride in this. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, this is the first time for teams to line up against each other and I guess stake their claim in this America's Cup. You mentioned the importance. It's not massive for the America's Cup, but just you leave a mark of what you're intending to do, and each team wants to go out there and win a regatta. So yeah, we'll be approaching it with that same attitude.
Do you think we'll see very different styles of sailing of these AC40s, or is everybody kind of getting to the same place now?
Yeah, I think a couple of weeks ago, with the first official lineups that we had on the media testing, there were a few small differences that were picked up within the coaching and the sailing team. But I think by the time we get to racing, it will come down to small mistakes here and there on the race course, manoeuvres not quite being landed or things like that. Poor starts will probably make the difference.
That's really, you're talking about consistency there. That's the big thing in one design racing. How do you practice for that? How do you train for that?
Yeah, I mean it's time on the water, effectively. As a team, we've been focusing a lot with T6, so we're probably maybe a click behind on hours. But again, the boys are out there today, and it's every moment you can go through the manoeuvres and perfect the moves is very valuable.
Final question for today: how much of the strategy will be about sailing your own race, just getting a clear lane, going fast and trying to win the race?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. We've not seen these boats race in a fleet race before, other than last weekend, and I think there will be a lot. I'm sure once a boat breaks clear of the dogfight, let's say, it may have an easier lap around the course, but yeah, there's so many unknowns. It's going to be exciting to find out.